This is not a humble brag video to show off how much of a connoisseur I am of Marvel Funko Pops. Even though, yes, that is the coveted Thor, classic Thor from Infinity War. I'm just kidding. I was going to point to Daisy Johnson because she's cool. But anyway, regardless, this is off topic. Except it's not, because Baron Zemo. Oh, he's back! He's back! There's going to be spoilers in this video, but episode 3 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is absolutely insane. It's out now, and if you want to see Baron Zemo doing this in a club, this is the show to watch, okay? This is the funniest crap of all time. I love this episode. I was really surprised. I was thinking, like, well, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie, how are they going to play off of Baron Zemo? He's a character they had very, very little, interaction with in Civil War when they were with him. Yes, Bucky was controlled by Zemo, right? But we don't actually see too much time of Zemo and Bucky on screen together. Essentially, Bucky is used as an extension of what Zemo wants him to do in early scenes in the movie when he controls the Winter Soldier, and then that's it, right, in Civil War. But the thing with Zemo in Civil War, without going into a full review of that movie, is he is one of the smartest MCU villains. His whole thing is, well, Ultron couldn't beat the Avengers. Loki, a god, couldn't beat the Avengers. All these people couldn't beat the Avengers, like, split up one-on-one. How am I, just a normal man whose family was killed in Sokovia, going to beat the Avengers? So what does he do? He turns them against each other. He gets Bucky as the Winter Soldier to basically blow up the UN. He kills King T'Chaka. He turns the Wakandans on Bucky. He then turns, Steve Rogers as Captain America on Tony Stark's Iron Man. Shows Iron Man who actually killed his parents, which we find out was Bucky under the control of Hydra as the Winter Soldier. So there was a lot of stuff going on in that movie with that character that really did make him very, very interesting and fascinating, I think, for the viewers as well. So what we're finding, though, now in actually Falcon and the Winter Soldier is this character has been locked up for quite a while. I mean, it's been over 5 years at this point. He's been in maximum security prison, but he is finally getting back out, and we get to see a lot of different angles of this character in this episode because he is a Baron. This is Baron Zemo. We get to see more of the royalty features of Zemo in this. He's very charming, very witty. Yes, he is a murderer. He's killed a lot of people, but you can't help but liking him throughout the episode, which I think is a fantastic performance and great writing on behalf of, obviously, the writers. We also get to see a very cool dynamic between Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Zemo. It's very interesting as, you have Bucky trying to bury the hatchet a little bit, but use Zemo. Zemo's very clearly trying to use both Bucky and Sam Sam is just trying to get to the bottom of where the new Super Soldier Serum is coming from. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the background of this episode and the forefront as well. But there's one element that really has me excited for the future of this show, and that is an element that everybody's been pretty angry about online with, obviously, I was going to say U.S. agent, but the new Captain America. Obviously we have John Walker. He has stepped in to take over the mantle of Captain America for Steve. He never knew Steve. We find out more about him in the previous episode, but he doesn't show up much in episode 3. And that's what has me very interested because this is a key pivotal character of the show, and he's just sort of operating in the background of this episode. We now find out that he's actually actively following Sam and Bucky and trying to follow them both to Zemo and to the Super Soldier Serum in order to get basically a win under his belt as Captain America. But one of the best scenes in this episode is actually right near the beginning. They're doing a raid on a flag smasher safe house, essentially, which the flag smashers, as you know, are these terrorists now in the MCU who want to restore the world as it was during the blip because they've essentially been displaced by the people coming back. There's not enough resources now for them. So, which, by the way, that's a very fascinating thing, too, because you now have a whole group of people who believe Thanos was right, for what he did. And Thanos is dead, but you essentially have a terrorist cell who's like, things were better when Thanos wiped out half the population of the universe. Let's bring it back. So you have all that going on. You have all the story with Sam, Bucky, Zemo now as well, the Super Soldier Serum, the Flag Smashers, but John Walker in the background is following all of it, sort of interconnecting with all of it, and he's very clearly out of his element. It's much too big for him. Because we see in this episode when one of the Flag Smasher sympathists spits on him, he completely loses his mind if I forget the name of his friend other than Battlestar, which is his dumbass name that he goes by, which is very silly, but if he wasn't there, he would have beaten this guy's face in. Like he was, when he broke in the raid and he got spit on because a guy spit on him when he was trying to ask him questions, he lost his crap. He's like, do you know who I am? And like grabs him and shoves him into a wall and very clearly wanted to pummel him. Like, this guy is taking being Captain America very seriously. Like, to him, he's not just John Walker anymore. It's, I'm Captain America. How dare you disrespect me? And it's very interesting. I was talking to Jill about this. Steve would have never done that. Steve never threw around being Captain America. It wasn't that big of a deal to him. Like, in terms of he did his best as who he was, right? But to him, he was just Steve Rogers. That's who he was. He had abilities. He had a suit. He knew that to a lot of people he symbolized something. But that wasn't really his point, right? John is losing complete control. This is a guy with an anger problem, no Super Soldier Serum, something to prove, and way, way, way too much combat acuity, given the shield and given the mantle of Captain America, and given way too much free reign by the US government to do whatever he wants. There's not enough oversight on this guy, very clearly, and he's not someone like Steve who can operate without it. And yet he's still a pawn of the military. He's still under their thumb, but he seems to have a little bit too much leeway to do whatever he wants. He's not someone with the self-control to handle the shield. And you know what? That's actually why I love him. He's really interesting, and his actor actually had mentioned this too, that he wanted to bring shades of gray to the MCU in terms of morality with the character. Like, not anti-hero-ish, but a little bit in that direction where it's like, yes, he's doing what he thinks is right. Yes, he is doing some good moral things. However, how he's getting there is kind of immoral and not good and not deserving of this mantle. So how is this going to be rationalized with all these characters?
That being said, Degenerate J, are you excited to get John Walker's Funko Pop?
I am very excited to get John Walker's Funko Pop. I have collected, this is a little off topic, I have collected Baron Zemo. I've got, you can barely see him up here, but I've got Winter Soldier and Falcon. I'm very interested to see if Falcon becomes the new Cap and he gets another Funko Pop. And John Walker's pretentious shit-eating grin where he's like this with the shield. Extremely excited to get that as well. Yeah, not to go too far off topic, but I decided to make, I have a few different sections of Funko collections. I decided to make this one entirely Marvel. I did like the comics, the Fox X-Men movies, and then the MCU going up. Waiting for the WandaVision ones to finish, get John Walker. But anyway, I'm really interested in where this is going to go, and also where the merchandise is going to go to, because I clearly shill for the MCU now, so I'm interested. What did you think about this episode? What were your thoughts? Are you interested in Baron Zemo's story? Are you interested in the whole Super Soldier Serum? What do you think is going to happen? Jill and I were actually talking about this before, and I said I thought it would be interesting if Sam ended up with the Soldier Serum by the end. But she pointed out, too, there's a lot to be said about Sam just becoming the new Captain America without that, too. I mean, we have a lot of different characters. Hawkeye and Black Widow both prove that you don't need superpowers to do this. So, obviously Sam is very, I guess, skilled. He's lasted from all the way, I mean, obviously active service in military, but also, through a lot of world-ending threats from Winter Soldier, the movie, all the way to now. So clearly he can do it too. I'm interested to see what will happen. Will they steal back the shield? How do they get it back? What happens to John Walker? My final prediction is I really think John is going to snap. I could be completely wrong, but I think he's going to kill somebody. And that wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing ever, but I think he's going to be seen doing it. Because they've talked a lot in the show about what the shield means. This shield represents a lot of things to a lot of people. That's the line that Bucky said in this episode. The shield's importance came up a ton in episode 1. So I really do think, imagine the imagery of John Walker just losing his shit and beating someone's face in with the shield or killing them, even if it cut away. This is a character they've been broadcasting on TV a lot in universe to sort of inspire people. If you essentially saw what was the new Superman tear somebody's head off on national TV, that's sort of what this image would kind of be like for the MCU. And then what would happen with this? Would the shield be tarnished? Would Sam and Bucky try and take it back? That's something they've already discussed. Is Zemo proven right in that a little bit when he talks about how dangerous the shield is as a symbol that people rally behind no matter who's holding it, right? What's going to happen with this? And it really gets us into the idea of legacy heroes. When the new Iron Man or the new Iron Heart or whoever eventually shows up, any of these people, what power do they have over that legacy title? How much respect will they command? Do they just inherit it with the mantle of what they've been given, or do they need to earn it? There's a lot of stuff here that's really interesting. I think this is a very serious MCU story, very dark. I'm surprised at how adult this show is. Same with WandaVision, and I'm very impressed. You know, if you're someone who loved the classic DC feeling, even if you're not too into the DCEU, but I'm just saying the classic feeling of like a pretty serious, dark story, occasional moments of levity, but like really getting in on stuff. That's what these shows have been lately, and I would say that's what this universe has really been since Captain America. I would say Winter Soldier at the very least. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm very excited to see the next episode, episode 4. Hyped out of my mind. Can't wait for the John Walker Funko Pop. We'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Leave your comments down below. Like, subscribe. Appreciate you. Stay shway.
Hail Hydra.